Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Great. So I suppose you might have utilized the extra time to practice the joins, group by, and other stuff.
सर दूसरा वाला क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं हुआ था.
कौन सा?
सेकंड वाला सेकंड.
We'll come to that later. Himanshu,
Yes, sir.
no background wallpaper today.
No, sir.
सब निकल गया एटीट्यूड. तो मैंने अपने फ्रेंड को रिफंड दिया 11
Congratulations.
आया था मेरे को. पेटीएम नंबर, उसके लिए मैंने पेटीएम डाउनलोड किया, पेमेंट किया, फिर अनइंस्टॉल किया. And then he replied, sir, received. But I told him you can still continue to access the code, not deleting. तो उसको कुछ लगा होगा, तो उसने 11 रुपए पेटीएम वापस किए. Then I told him, let's meet up there. कभी साउथ बॉम्बे में आए तो मीट अप. हाँ सर, माइट. चलो. मेरा EMP टेबल किधर गया? So yesterday we saw the different types of joins, but up till now we were joining only 2 tables. But we can join 3, 4, 5, any number of tables. This question had come up yesterday. So let's see how to join 3 or more tables. Let's see how to join 3 or more tables. To explain this, I have EMP table. I'll just create this quickly. In EMP table, I have employee number and email, SAL and department number, job and MGR. So that's my EMP table. I have employee number rename, SAL and department number, job and MGR. Employee number is 12345. E-name is Arun Ali Kiran, Jack and Thomas. SAL column 8,000 and 7,000, 3,000, 9 and 8,000. Department number, I have 1112 and 2. Job column, MCC, M&C, manager and clerk, and MGR is 411, null and 4. I hope you can hear me clearly, students.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me clearly? Is it stable? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
So I have department table, I have EMP table. Let me create a third table. Please draw this. Create a new table. Let's call it D head. Let's call it D head. In this table, I'm going to store department number and D head. I'll store department number and D head. For department number 1, the D head is Arun. And for department number 2, the D head is Jack. I'll create this one more table. Done. Now listen to the explanation. I have 3 tables: EMP table, department head table. Now watch. If we compare these 3 tables, I want you to observe, if you compare these 3 tables, I want you to observe department number column is common in all the 3 tables. Fair enough. The department number column is common in both the tables. This new table I've created is the D head table. In D head table, I'm storing department number and name of the D head. Actually, let me rename this. Let me call it department head. That would be better. Let me rename this table. Let me call it department head. Voice is lagging.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
आज का दिन ही बेकार है.
आज छुट्टी दे देते.
Video is also lagging.
Let me do one thing. Let me switch off the video. And if I switch off my video, is this,
No, sir.
is this better?
No, sir.
No,
No, sir.
No, sir. It is still lagging.
Still voice is lagging.
Too much lag.
Mute, sir.
Is this better?
Yes, sir. Little.
I hope it looks clear. So I was explaining that I have these three tables. See the screen. I have VMP table, department table, and I have department head table. If you compare these three tables, you'll observe that department number column, it's common in both the tables. I want you to observe, if you compare department table with department head table, for department number 1 training, the D head is Arun. For department number 2 exports, the D head is Jack. For department number 3 marketing, there is no D head. Marketing is a headless department. There is no D head for department number 3 marketing. Now, here is the thing. If you want to see D name and you want to see D head, you can join department table with department head table. The department number column is common in both the tables. For that matter, if you want to see the D name and D name, if you want to see D name and D name, you can join department with DMP. Again, department number column is common. That is what we were doing yesterday. But here is the thing. Suppose you want to see the E name. You also want to see the D name. And you also want to see the D head. Then you will have to join all the three tables. Department number column is common in both the tables. As I explained yesterday, the common column in 2 tables, 3 tables, the column name need not be the same in all the tables. The column name can be different in 2 tables and 3 tables. I am using the same column name everywhere only for simplicity, only for the sake of explanation. So here is the thing. I want to see the D name. I also want to see the E name. And I also want to see the D head. So just by understanding what output that we want, we can plan the writing of our select statement. So help me guys. What will be my select statement here? I will select D name, comma E name, comma D head from. I'm selecting from three tables. Which three tables? TMP table, department head table, from TMP, department head, just separate by commas. See the order of the tables. TMP has 5 rows, department has 3 rows, department head has 2 rows. Try to maintain this order. Driving table, it will affect your speed of processing. And this is my condition where department head dot department number equal to department dot department number and department dot department number equal to EMP dot department number. Please write it. Please write it. Then I will explain it. First you write it. Then I will explain it.
तो ये वेयर के बाद डिपार्टमेंट ऐड करके ये टेबल कौन सा है?
This one.
Okay, okay.
मैंने उसको originally I had renamed it as the head. Then I decided let's call it department head to make it more user friendly. In case you haven't renamed the table, then please do that. Please update your notebook. I think I got disconnected in the middle when I restarted. So you must have lost that one point. So please rename this table, call it department head, please. Okay. Okay. No, never mind. I'll explain it. I am selecting dname, ename, dhead. Output will be dname, ename, dhead. I am selecting from EMP, department, department head. I'm joining three tables, just separated by commas. Now here, listen, over here, even though I'm joining three tables at a time, internally, it will join two at a time. You see, your computer is based on binary logic, ones and zeros. So even if I'm joining three tables, internally, it will join two at a time. So what happens here? First, it will join department head with department. Listen carefully, Himanshu. You had asked yesterday. First, it will join department head with department. When department head is joined with department head is my driving table, department is my driven table. And this is my condition for it. department head dot department number equal to department dot department number, and later it's going to join EMP with department. It will join EMP with department. EMP is the driven table, and this is my condition for it. Department table, department number column equal to EMP table, department number column. Both conditions have to be satisfied. Logical AND is there. So let's go through it. Let's see what happens here, students. Pay attention. First, it will join department head with department. Department head is driving table, department is driven table. It will fetch the first row from department head. Department number 1 is there. Go to department table. It will search for 1 where condition is satisfied, and then it will join department with EMP. Only for this row, mind you, it will join department with EMP, and it will search for department number 1 here. 3 rows are present. Both conditions are satisfied. It will return the D name, that is training, the E name, that is Arun Ali Kiran, and the D head, that is Arun. So initially, for training, I'm going to get Arun Ali Kiran, and the D head is Arun. Output is this. Output is this. Output is this. This was the first cycle. This was the first cycle. This was the first cycle. After this, what will happen? It will start from scratch. It will start from scratch. Come to department head. Fetch the second row from here. Department number 2 is there. For this particular row, it will go to department, search for 2, and later it's going to join department with EMP. Only for this row, mind you, only for this row, it will join department with EMP, and it will search for 2 over here. 2 rows are present. Both conditions are satisfied. It will return the D name, that is exports, the E name, that is Jack and Thomas, and the D head, that is Jack. Output is this. So for exports, I'm going to get Jack and Thomas. For exports, I'm going to get Jack and Thomas. Of course, the D head is Jack. And then what happens? I have come to the end of department head. It will stop over here. And my output is this. You know, Himanshu, what is happening here is, over here, it's a nested for loop up to 3 levels here. It's a nested for loop up to 3 levels. There is an outermost loop, there is a middle loop, there is an innermost loop. Department head is your outermost loop. Department is the middle loop. And EMP is your innermost loop. It's a nested loop up to 3 levels. If you had to write a program to do this, your logic would be similar. You're going to write nested loop up to 3 levels. No problem.
Yes, sir. No problem.
In this way, I have joined 3 tables. In this way, you can join 3 tables, 4 tables, 5 tables. There's no upper limit. There's no upper limit how many tables you can join. So that depends on your requirement, how complex is your application. So later on, when you're practicing tonight or tomorrow morning, what you can do is You can join customers table, orders table, and salespeople table. I'll get to know which customer has placed which order and who's the salesman who's catering to him. If I compare customers with orders, the CNAM column is common. And if you compare with salespeople, then the SNAM column is common. Or even in your exercises in MySQL, S table, P table, J table. Remember, there is a fourth table called SPJ. The fourth table SPJ is storing S hash, P hash, J hash. And with the help of this fourth table SPJ, I can find out which supplier is supplying which part to which project, isn't it? Try it out. Joining 10 tables, 20 tables, 40 tables, 50 tables is a routine thing. Huh? Trust me, it's a routine thing. It requires practice, of course. It requires couple of months, maybe couple of years of practice. Joining 30 tables, 40 tables, 50 tables. But no one's in a hurry. Even if you have to join 10 tables, do one thing. First, you join 2 tables. Check the output. Check if everything is working properly. Test your select statement. Then you add the third one. Modify the select statement. You add the third one. Again, you check the output. Test your select statement. See that the output is correct. Then you add a fourth table. Modify your select. Add a fourth table. Modify the where condition. And like that, you gradually build your select statement. With the experience, you can directly join 10 tables, 20 tables, not a problem. But initially, you can do it step by step. It needs practice. And it is time consuming. It is time consuming. Sometimes you will take one full week to write one select statement. Because joining 30, 40 tables is not a joke. It will take a full week to write the select statement, which is fine. Go to your computer, sit down over there. First, you describe all those 20 tables, 40 tables. See which all columns are there in which table. See which columns are common between 2 tables, 3 tables. See which columns you want to write in the output. And then you write your select statement step by step. Join 2 tables, 3 tables, 4 tables. Keep testing your select statement along the way. Once you have achieved it, call your team members, let them also have a look at it. Then you submit it to your team leader. He will also test it. No problem, students. Now, let's talk about something else.
यहाँ डिपार्टमेंट नेम में मार्केटिंग वाला दिखाई देगा आउटपुट में?
It will not come. If you want marketing to come, you'll have to use outer join.
Okay.
So that for department number 3 marketing, even though I don't have any D head, you want this to come. So where will you put the plus sign? Where will you put the plus sign? You will put the plus sign here.
Okay.
To ensure that marketing will come in the output with a null D name. With the null E name and a null D head also. I wanted to talk about something else. I want to talk about the types of relationships. Let's discuss the types of relationships. What are the different types of relationships? I can have 1:1, 1:many, many:1, and I can have many:many. These are the types of relationships between the tables, amongst the tables. Now, 1:1. Yes, Himanshu, 1:1. I want you to compare department table with department head table. If you compare department table with department head table, one department is having only one D head. One D head is managing only one department. Is an example of 1:1. Here I'm assuming that one D head is managing only one department. Sometimes in some companies you will see that one person is managing two departments. It happens. Like I am managing two departments in CIBIL, technology and business also. But in our example, I'm assuming that one D head is managing only one department. So how does one denote this? How does one denote this? We will say department is to department head. Is an example of 1:1. Department table is to department head table. Or you can write it the other way around. Department head is to department. Either way you look at it. Either way you look at it, it's an example of 1:1. Followed. One is to one. One is to many. What is the example of one is to many? One department has multiple employees, isn't it? One department has multiple employees. The classic example of department and EMP is the classic example of one is to many. So that's one example that we have here. Actually, we have a second example of one is to many here. Look here, Daneshwar. I can compare department head table directly with EMP. Agreed? I can compare department head table with EMP table. Department number column is common. Arun is having so many employees working under him. And Jack is having these remaining two employees working under him. Is also an example of one is to many. So department head is to EMP. Department head table is to EMP table is the second example of one is to many. So we have two such examples here. Department head is to EMP. Many is to one. What is many is to one? The same thing in reverse is many is to one. Many employees, they belong to one department, they report to one department. So same thing in reverse. EMP is to department. EMP is to department is example of many is to one. Yes, Shubham, vice versa. And similarly, the second example we have here, which is the second example we have here, many employees, they report to one D head, isn't it? Many employees report to one D head. is the second example we have here. EMP is to department head. Is the second example we have. And lastly, we have many is to many. Many is to many is not there in this example. To understand many is to many, let me take another example. Let me open a new whiteboard. Are To understand many is to many, let's create a new table. We are having EMP table, na? Let's do one thing. Let me create one more table. Please draw this in your notebook. Let me create a projects table. Let me create a projects table. In projects table, I have project number, I have client name, and I have a brief description of the project. This is my projects table. Our company has so many projects. P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. So what would be some good clients here, Rishikesh? Project number P1. Client name is Deloitte. Description is capital gain software. Project number P2. Project number P2. Client name is BNP Paribas. Description would be macros. Macros software. BNP Paribas doesn't use CBIL. उतने पैसे है नहीं उनके पास. No CRM for them. They use ERP. Project number P3. Client name is Morgan Stanley. What will we make for Morgan Stanley? Asset management software. Project number P4. ICICI Bank. What will we make for them? Pension processing software. में बहुत पैसा है. डेटा एंट्री करो, पेंशन का चेक बनाओ, उसमें लोग दिन के लाखों रुपए कमाते, मस्त है ऐसे ऐसे। Their office is in BKC. Project number P5. Client name is AMFI, Association of Mutual Funds of India. What will we do for them? We'll do website development. ठीक है, चलो। ICICI बैंक में चंदा थी, बेचारी because of her husband she got नाम खराब हो गया, पता है ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
क्या करेगा, हस्बैंड चोर निकला। Anyway, so I have EMP table and projects table. Now the thing is, students, one project has multiple employees working on it. Agreed. If you make a software, if you work on a project, it's not a one-man job. So one project has multiple employees working on it. At the same time, one employee may work on 2 or more projects at the same time. हो सकता है, when you start working, you may work on 2 projects simultaneously. Maybe morning 9 to 1 in the afternoon, morning 9 to 1, you will work on Australia project. And afternoon post lunch 2 to 6, you will work on UK project. हो सकता है. You may work on 2 projects at the same time. Would be an example of many is to many. So EMP is to projects. Projects is to EMP. Either way you look at it, projects is to EMP or EMP is to projects. Either way you look at it, it's an example of many is to many. Now the question is, how to find out which employee works on which project? Rohit, how to find out which employee works on which project? How to find out which project has got which all employees working on it? Anyone wants to answer? Rishi, Nyanu? Anyone?
So,
Ah,
so we will have to add another column in EMP, which will indicate like which project they are working on.
प्रोजेक्ट वाले में भी कर सकते हैं.
correct. Both
Yes.
answers are correct. Both answers are correct. One way of doing it is by storing project number in EMP. This is one solution that is offered by this is one solution. You store the project number inside EMP is one solution. So employer number 1, maybe you'll have a comma separator or you'll have a semicolon separator. Employer number 1 works on P1 and P2. You must have used semicolon separator, no? If you want to send the same email to 2 people, 3 people, How do you separate the email IDs? You use a semicolon separator. So you may use a semicolon separator or a comma separator, or maybe you use a backslash or something. Employee number 2 works on P1, P3, and P4. This is one solution. This is one solution. The second solution that was offered by another student was in projects table, you store employee number. That's a second solution. In projects table, you store employee number. So project number P1, employee number 1 and 2 are working. Project number P2, employee number 1, employee number 3, and employee number 4 are working, and so on. That's the second solution. I will reject both the solutions
अगर हमने
because
थर्ड वन आया तो
I'll tell you why. Because if you're going to use a comma separator and a semicolon separator, then you might as well store your data in Notepad. Why to use RDBMS? इतना मगजमारी क्या के लिए करना? Put your data in a text file. So what is the solution? How to find out which employee works on which project? I'll tell you. What we are going to do is, we are going to create a third table. Let's call it projects underscore EMP. Let's create a new table. Let's create a third table. I'm calling it projects underscore EMP. And inside this table, I'm going to store the project number and the employee number. In this table, I'll store project number and employee number. So project number P1, employee number 1, 2, and 4 are working. Project number P2, employee number 2 and 3 are working. Project number P3, employee number 2, 4, and 5 are working. With the help of this table, I can find out which employee works on which project. Agreed? So this third table is required. You see this third table that I've created, this new table that I've created, it's known as intersection table. Please note down this term. It's all based on set theory. This new table that I've created, it's known as intersection table. So this intersection table is required for many is to many. That's right, Ganesh. You'll have to create a separate table. In that table, I'll store project number and employee number. So we can note down that if I'm dealing with a many is to many relationship, we can note down one point that intersection table is required. Intersection table is required for many is to many relationship. Intersection table is required for many is to many relationship. It's known as intersection table. So here is the thing. Students, if you want to see the e-name and you want to see which project he's working on, you'll have to join all the three tables, isn't it? So here is the thing. Suppose I want to see the client name and the e-name and a description of the project. I will select from all the three tables. See the order of the tables here. See the order of the tables, students. Obviously, projects underscore EMP is going to have the largest number of rows. And coming to EMP and projects, will EMP table have more rows or projects table have more rows?
EMP and more rows.
Actually, this is a tough question. Will EMP table have, listen, will the EMP table have more rows or projects table have more rows? This is a tough question. It depends on the application. It depends upon the industry. See, in a small company of 10 people or 20 people, I'm going to have 10 programmers working on 20 projects. Agreed? I will have 10 programmers working on 20 projects. But in a large company like Accenture has got 5 lakh employees. For 5 lakh employees, I'm going to have 50 lakh projects. No, 5 lakh employees would probably be working on 20,000 projects, isn't it? So it depends on the industry. It depends upon the company. I have played it safe. I put 5 rows in both the tables. Okay, na? So EMP, projects or projects, EMP is not going to matter. But if you need to join 3 tables, एक बार counter star ले ले. And this is my condition where projects dot project number equal to projects underscore EMP dot project number and EMP dot EMPNO equal to projects underscore EMP dot EMPNO. And if you want, you can say order by. You can say order by 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Good students. So I'm selecting client name, e-name, and description from projects underscore EMP, projects. And this is my condition where projects dot project number equal to projects underscore EMP dot project number and EMP dot EMPNO equal to projects underscore EMP dot EMPNO. I want you to observe, students, look here. I want you to observe, I'm not selecting anything from this table, but it is needed to join the other two. It's an intersection table. You know those exercises I had given you for MySQL, S table, P table, J table. There this fourth table you are having, SPJ table. That SPJ table is the intersection table. SPJ table is storing S hash, P hash, J hash. So with the help of SPJ table, I can find out which supplier is supplying which part to which project. Because one supplier supplies multiple parts, one part has multiple suppliers. One part is needed on multiple projects. One project requires multiple parts. So one supplier can supply multiple parts across multiple projects. I have a many is to many relationship between S table, P table, and J table. And with the help of SPJ table, I can find out which supplier supplies which part to which project. Understood, everyone? Chalo फिर. Let's start with a new topic. May I rub all this? Yes? Let me rub this. Let EMP table remain. Start with a new topic. Yes, Ganesh, it is a bit tricky, but then, as I said, as you're also saying, it needs practice. Yeah. There's no substitute for it. If I'm teaching you for 6 hours a day, you should be practicing 12 hours a day. As simple as that. Let's start with a new topic. Let's go through subqueries. Let's do subquery. Let's do subqueries. Let's do subqueries. You want to do subqueries? Subquery is query within query. Query within query. Select within select. Subqueries are also known as nested queries. Some people like to use this term, nested queries. They won't say function within function. They will say nested function. What do you use, Anirudh? Do you say function within function or do you say nested function?
It's a recursive call nested increment function.
So you use the term nested. That says a lot about you. Query within query, select within select, nested queries. Again, this is an extremely important topic. Exam perspective, interview perspective, when you start working. In database, every topic is important. But this is slightly more important than others. Now hear me out. First, you understand the problem statement. First, you understand the problem statement. Suppose you want to find out the minimum sal. I want to find out the minimum sal. How much is minimum sal? 3,000. If you want to find out the minimum sal, what will be your select statement? You will select min of sal from EMP. Is that correct? You will select min of sal from EMP. This will give me the minimum sal. Select min of sal will give me the minimum sal. In our case, I'll get to see 3,000. Okay? Will show me 3,000. Nothing great out here. But Anirudh, rather than getting the minimum sal, understand my requirement. Look here. Rather than getting the minimum sal, I want the ename here. I want the ename. I want name of the employee who's getting minimum sal. I want the ename. I want name of the employee who's getting minimum sal. Now you are aware, don't write, just listen. You are aware that over here, if you want to see the ename, name of the employee who is getting minimum sal, who is it? Kiran. I want to see an output Kiran. Now all of you are aware that over here, I cannot select ename along with min of sal, isn't it? I cannot select ename along with min of sal. Why? Because min of sal is a group function and you cannot select column of table with group function because working of both these columns is different. If I select ename, Oracle has to display all the enames. Whereas when I select min of sal, the working of min of sal is different. It has to create an array. It needs to go inside a for loop. It needs to compare the next and previous and return the min of sal. In fact, this gives me an error in Oracle. Whereas in MySQL, this works in MySQL, but the output is meaningless. In MySQL, I'll get a list of all the enames followed by min sal. But it won't show me which employee is getting minimum sal. So how to make this work? How to make this work? This will not work. At the same time, if you try to select ename from EMP, if you try to select ename from EMP, if you try to say where sal equal to min of sal, this will also give me an error. If I try to say where sal equal to min of sal, will also give me an error. Why? Because min of sal is a group function. You cannot use group function in the where clause. You cannot use group function in the where clause. The where clause is used for searching. Searching takes place in server hard disk. At the time of searching inside the table, min of sal doesn't exist. Min of sal is calculated by MySQL afterwards, after the data is brought into the RAM. So this is also not allowed. You can use min of sal in the having clause. You can't use min of sal in the where clause. So if you want to solve this problem, Rishi, how will you solve this problem? You'll have to break up your solution into two steps. You'll have to write two select statements. What you'll have to do is, first, you find out the minimum sal. After you have found out the minimum sal, Then I can see which ename is getting Sal equal to that value. Agreed. So step number 1, first, I need to find out the minimum Sal. And after I have found out the minimum Sal, now I can say select ename from EMP where Sal equal to the value that is returned by the select statement. It's known as subquery. It's known as sub. Note down the problem statement first. Display the ename. Display the ename. Students, I'm getting a bit of an echo here. Is somebody's mic on or speaker? Display the ename. This is better. Display the ename who is receiving min of Sal. Note down the problem statement and note down the solution also. I think somebody is using speaker और उसका mic भी on. Students, 1 sec, I'm just coming. Note it, students. I'll explain it now. Listen to the explanation. I want to see the name of the employee who is receiving a Sal equal to min of Sal. I need to use subqueries. Now listen. The first select statement, it's known as main query. The second select statement, it's known as subquery. Okay? The main query is also known as outer query. Subquery is known as inner query. The main query is the parent query, whereas the subquery is the child query. Are we clear, students? We can use any of these terms, any of these terminologies, whichever you prefer, whatever you are comfortable with. Main query and subquery. Call it outer query and inner query. or you can call it parent query and child query, one and the same thing. This whole thing is one command, semicolon after the second select statement. This whole thing is one command, semicolon after the second select statement. Now listen, coming to the execution. When you're actually typing this, are you listening, Kaustubh? Very important. When you're actually typing this, you can type it in one line, you can type it in 2 lines, you can type it in 3 lines. It doesn't matter. The semicolon indicates end of command. Semicolon is known as delimiter. I had mentioned this term earlier. Semicolon is referred to as delimiter. It indicates end of command. So as I said, type it in 1 line, type it in 2 lines, type it in 3 lines. It doesn't matter. I am typing it in multiple lines just to make it more readable. No other reason. Just to make it more readable. Now coming to the execution. How will this execute? Execution is top to bottom. Execution is left to right. Yes, top to bottom and left to right. But I want you to observe that I have given the subquery in brackets. Pay attention. I have given the subquery in brackets. Everyone is aware that anything you specify in brackets will have a higher priority that will be executed first. So Akshay, in this situation, what happens? First, my subquery will execute. First, my subquery will execute. Select min of sal from EMP. Here, when I select min of sal, it returns the value 3000. The value 3000 that is being returned, it won't be displayed on the screen. The value 3000 that is being returned, I have equated this with the main query. So the value 3000 that is being returned, it goes as a parameter to the main query. It goes as an input to the main query. And after that, step number 2, my main query is executed. Select ename, where sal equal to 3000 will give me the name of the employee who's receiving minimum sal. So my point is, the value 3000 that is being returned by subquery, it won't be displayed on the screen. The value 3000 that is being returned by subquery, it goes as a parameter to the main query. All this is happening at runtime. Parameter passing is always at runtime. So the value 3000 that is being returned, it goes as parameter, it goes as input to the main query. Step number 2, main query will execute. I'll get to see the name of the employee who's receiving minimum sal. Understood, Mr. Chinmay?
Yes, sir.
You're going to see this, students, in a lot of places in SQL. Rohit is asking, he wants to see the name and the department number of the employee who is getting the minimum salary. Well, you select e-name and department number, where sal equal to 3000. Does that answer your question, Rohit?
Yes.
Will show me the e-name and the department of the employee who's receiving minimum salary. Now, You're going to see this in a lot of places in SQL. I was saying certain problems cannot be solved using one select statement. Certain problems are complicated. You may need to write two select statements, three select statements to get the output. Dheeraj, I'll get back to you. Just wait. Slow down. Sagar, similarly, you can do with average max. Yes. रुकना रोहित.
Yes.
These guys are thinking 10 steps ahead of me always. मैं एक बात बोलता हूँ 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ये लोग कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच जाते हैं. मैं यहाँ पे काउंटडाउन कर रहा हूँ, ये लोग ऑलरेडी मार्स पे पहुंच जाते हैं. रिलैक्स. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, for this select statement, this is the subquery. You know, this subquery in turn can have a sub-subquery. Agreed. And that sub-subquery can have a sub-sub-subquery, in which case the upper limit maximum you can go up to 255 levels. Yes, समझे? Maximum you can go up to 255 levels for subquery. I hope that answers your question. Pediskar Jayant is asking how many subqueries are allowed. Upper limit is 255. I hope that answers you. This is for Oracle, this is for MySQL also.
Yes, sir.
You might think this is a lot, but it's not. Writing subquery up to 5 level, 10 level is a routine thing. You might think that 255 levels is a lot, but it's not. Sometimes you need to go beyond 255 levels. And if you want to go beyond 255 levels, this limit can be exceeded with the help of views. Write down. This limit can be exceeded. This limit of SQL can be exceeded with the help of views. Topic of views I will be covering later, maybe after 3 days, but as of now, this is the upper limit. Ganesh, ज़्यादा subquery time consuming होगा. Yes, it will be slow. Instead of one select, you write 2 selects. Instead of 2, you write 3 selects. The more the number of select statements, the slower it will be. But it is still better than writing a program, Ganesh. So upper limit is 255 levels. Just be careful. Number of opening brackets, number of closing brackets, all that, your syntax is proper. Again, this is also one thing that requires practice. It requires experience. First, you write one select statement. See the output. Then you add a second one to it. See the output. Then you add a third one to it. See the output. till you have got the output that we were desiring for. Rohit is saying department number 1 का मिसाल चाहिए तो department number 1 का मिसाल चाहिए तो Rohit, what will be your subquery? You will say that department number equal to 1, isn't it? If you say that department to 1, it returns the minimum sal for department number 1, and you will get the name of the employee with that salary. Sagar, similarly, you can do with facts, with average. Now, listen. These two select statements can be anything. Whatever we have done so far, these two select statements that we have written, they could be anything. Whatever we have done so far in the last 6 days, whatever we have done so far in the last 6 days, pay attention. The first select statement has a where clause. The second select statement is having a group function. Maybe the first select statement has a group by clause. Maybe the second select statement is based on join. Everything that we have done so far, order by clause, etc., can be put over here. One problem has multiple solutions. Sometimes you will encounter a situation where a particular problem can be solved using a join. Same problem can also be solved using subquery. If you have to choose between join and subquery, which one is faster, students? Join or subquery?
Subquery. Join.
I'm curious. Query.
Join is faster than subquery. Why? Because when I write a join, you solve the problem using one select. When you solve the problem using subquery, you require 2 or more selects. And the more the number of select statements, the slower it will be. When you solve a problem using join, you solve the problem using one select statement. Isn't it? Whereas, when you solve a problem using subquery, you require 2 or more select statements. You require 2 or more select statements. The more the number of select statements, the more the number of select statements, the slower it will be. The more the number of select statements, the slower it will be.
Sir, it is same for self-join as self-join works on recursion.
They are two different things. Self-join works on recursion. We solve the problem using one select statement. Subquery requires 2 select statements, 2 or more select statements. These two select statements are independent select statements. They will execute one after the other, step by step, one at a time. You understood the difference?
Yes, sir.
So whenever you encounter a problem, Himanshu, your first step should be to try and solve the problem using join. If the problem cannot be solved using join, then you will write two select statements, three select statements to solve it. This is where your logic comes, Himanshu. If I give you a problem and you solve the problem by writing subquery up to 3 level, and I give the same problem to Akshay and he solves the problem by writing subquery up to 4 levels, your solution would be faster than Akshay, because the more the number of select statements, the slower it will be. In fact, Akshay, as I said, these select statements could be anything. Even if you need to write subquery up to 4 level, try to put a join somewhere in the middle and reduce it and try to make it 3 levels. The lesser the number of select statements, the faster it will be. Yes, Gopal, understood.
Yes, sir.
How are things in Hogwarts?
हैरी पॉटर की राह दिख रहा है.
You belong to which house, Slytherin? Chalo, let's take another example. Students, let's attempt another program, another problem. Look here. Students, suppose you want to find out the maximum sal. How to find out the maximum sal? You will select max of sal from EMP, will give me maximum sal. In our case, it is 8,000. That everybody knows. But suppose I ask you to find out the second largest. What is second largest? Second largest is 8,000. Now we don't have any function for second largest, no? So what will be the logic? Hear me out first. First you find out the maximum sal. Okay, now? First you find out the maximum sal. Once you have found out the maximum sal, then you can say select max of sal where sal is less than max of sal. Understood? Select max of sal where sal is less than max of sal will give me the second largest. So what will be my select statement? First you find out the maximum sal. Once you have found out the maximum sal, then I can say select max of sal from EMP where sal is less than max of sal, will show me the second largest salary. Interview question, huh? Interview question. This was asked in placements for the previous batch. And one girl called Rutuja told me she was asked this question. And she got placed. The good starting salary of 9 lakhs per annum. Display the second largest cell. No problem, students. So coming to the execution, I have two select statements, semicolon after the second one. This whole thing is one command. अरे छोड़ना धीरज, तीन इस पे हाथ मत रख. Select max of cell is the first select statement. Select max of cell is the second select statement. As I said, the first select statement is known as main query. Second select statement is known as subquery. Execution is top to bottom. Execution is left to right. But you will observe, we have given the subquery in brackets. Anything that you specify in brackets will have the highest priority. So first, my subquery will execute. Select max of sal from EMP. Select max of sal from EMP. Will return the largest sal. In our case, it is 9,000. Then my subquery will execute. Select max of sal, where sal is less than 9,000. Select max of sal, where sal is less than 9,000, will obviously give me the second largest sal. Are we clear? And in this way, you can find out the second largest, third largest, fourth largest, and so on. Sagar, does that answer your previous question? Yes, he's not here right now. Goodacre. Anyway, he asked this question in chat, so I'm answering him. Anyway, let's take another example. Next problem. Maybe you can help me to solve this problem now, okay? All of you. Let's try and solve the next problem together. Yes, Rushi. For third largest, you'll write one more select. Less than second largest would be third largest. Understand the next problem, Akshay. Maybe you can help me to solve this. Look here. First, you understand the problem statement. Unless you understand the problem statement, how will you solve the problem? First, you understand the problem statement. We have a row, name equal to Thomas. That's all that we know. Name equal to Thomas. This is the only information given to us. Name equal to Thomas. We don't know what is the department number of Thomas. We want to see all the rows, same department number as Thomas. Show me all the rows, same department number as Thomas. Understood the question, Akshay? Display all the rows, same department number as Thomas. So first, we need to find out what is the department number of Thomas. Once we know what is the department number of Thomas, then I can say select star from EMP, where department number equal to that value will show me all the rows, same department number as Thomas. So first you find out what is the department number of Thomas. So my select statement, select department number from EMP where ename equal to Thomas will give me the department number of Thomas. Once I know the department number of Thomas, now I can say select star from EMP where department number equal to this select statement will show me all the rows, same department number as Thomas. Please note down the solution and note down the problem statement also. Display all the rows who belong to the same department number as Thomas. I'll explain it. We want to see all the rows, same department number as Thomas. See the screen. First select statement is the main query. Second select statement is the subquery. Semicolon after the subquery. Execution, top to bottom, left to right. But you will observe we have specified the subquery in brackets. Anything that you specify in brackets will have a higher priority that will execute first. So first, my subquery will execute. Select department number where name equal to Thomas. This will return the department number of Thomas. In our case, it returns a value 2. This value 2 that is being returned, will not be displayed on the screen. I have equated this with the main query. So the value 2 that is being returned will not be displayed on the screen. It goes as a parameter to the main query. And step number 2, my main query is executed. Select star where department number equal to 2 will show me all the rows, same department number as Thomas. Understood? You're getting the hang of it. So here's how you write subqueries. Understand the problem. Once you have understood the problem statement, apply your logic step by step, write one select statement at a time till you get the result you wanted. Let's take another example. You can help me solve this one now. Dheeraj, look here. We have a row name equal to Kiran. Okay? We have a row name equal to Kiran. We have a row name equal to Kiran. We don't know what is the job of Kiran. We want to see all the rows, same job as Kiran. Understood the question? Show me all the rows, same job as Kiran. So how will you solve it? First, you find out what is the job of Kiran. Once you have found out what is the job of Kiran, then we can find which all rows are there where job equal to that value. Will show me all the rows, same job as Kiran. So solving it the traditional way, first I will find out what is the job of Kiran. How to find out the job of Kiran? Select job from EMP where ename equal to Kiran will show me the job of Kiran. Once I know what is the job of Kiran, now I can say select star from EMP where job is equal to this value will show me all the rows, same job as Kiran. Note down the problem statement. Display all the rows who are doing the same job as Kiran. Please excuse me, I need to open the door. The doorbell just rang. Note it. I'll explain it. शंतनु दे दिया उसको पेटीएम रिसीट भी भेजा उसको. I'll explain it. I have two select statements. First select statement is main query. Second select statement is subquery. Semicolon after the subquery. Execution is top to bottom. Execution is left to right. But we have specified the subquery in brackets that will execute first. So first my subquery is executed. Select job, name equal to Kiran. Select job, name equal to Kiran. Will return the job of Kiran. In our case, it returns a value C for clerk. That is the job of Kiran. This value C for clerk will not be displayed on the screen. It goes as a parameter to the main query. Step number 2, my main query is executed. Select star where job equal to clerk will show me all the rows. Same job as Kiran. Understood how to write subquery, students? I have given equal to. You can say not equal to. You can say not equal to. You can say greater than. You can say less than. All that is possible. Shubham, I replied to your email yesterday. Are you done writing?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me show you some more stuff. Let me show you an advanced feature. Now, the option I'm about to show you now, it will work in Oracle. does not work in MySQL. First, I will show you how to solve the problem in Oracle. Then I will show you how to solve the same problem in MySQL. And if you compare MySQL with Oracle, you'll observe that Oracle is more efficient. MySQL requires one extra select statement. And you are aware that the more the number of select statements, the slower it will be. Look here now. Up till now, whichever examples we have seen, whatever 3-4 examples I have taken, I was using subquery with select statement. I was using subquery with select statement, but you can use subquery. You can use subquery with insert, update, delete also. You can use subquery with insert, update, delete also. For example, here, don't write this bit. Here, I can say delete from EMP, where department number equal to this, will delete all the rows. Same department number as Thomas. Or in this example, I will say update EMP, set sal equal to 10,000, where job equal to subquery will update all the rows. Same job as Kiran. So I can use subquery with insert, update, delete also. So I'm using subquery with DML commands. Using subquery with DML commands. Please write down both. Write down everything. Let me know when you're done. Shubham, let's discuss this after the session. Shubham, in the last 24 hours, I got 16,000 admissions. You're the only guy who has a problem with the payment. 16,000 admissions and नहीं यार 16,000 कितना हुआ 1,60,000 उसमें से 11 रुपए जय को रिटर्न किए हिमांशु लाने वाला था 10 लाख एडमिशन नहीं लेके आया तो हिमांशु के लिए कोई डिस्काउंट नहीं मिलेगा कोर्स के लिए it has to be earned then I'll send you a coupon code
50% discount.
नहीं 100% जय को मानना पड़ेगा ना उसको तो फ्री में कोर्स मिल गया रिफंड भी मिला और कोर्स भी फ्री में मिला बट हिमांशु हैज टू वर्क फॉर इट बीमर के लिए कुछ डिस्काउंट Everyone wrote it using subquery with insert, update, delete. Now, the above two commands are not supported by MySQL. Will work in Oracle. The above two commands are not supported by MySQL. Dheeraj, you send me an email, then I'll give you a coupon code, then I'll give you free admission. Since you're the memer. Above two commands are not supported by MySQL. धीरज फेमस हो गया और ICP वाले भी पहचानते थे. They are saying Java developer job नहीं मिलता भी बीमर का जॉब तो पक्के में मिलेगा. मगर ऐसा है ना. Now, why this does not work in MySQL? I'll tell you. See the screen. Let's focus on the first one. Let's see what's happening here. First, my subquery will execute. Listen carefully. First, my subquery will execute. I'm selecting department number. From which table? I'm selecting department number from EMP table. When I select department number from EMP table, I'm doing this for name equal to Thomas. Now, when I select department number from EMP table, on the basis of the select statement, I'm trying to delete from EMP only. Listen to me. In the subquery, if I'm selecting from department table, on that basis, I can delete from EMP. Are you understanding? If I'm selecting department number from department table, on that basis, I can delete from EMP. But you are selecting department number from EMP table. And on that basis, you're trying to delete from EMP table only. MySQL will not allow. Because in MySQL, it creates a problem in read and write consistency. It creates a problem in read and write consistency. You cannot update or delete from a table from which you are currently selecting. जिस टेबल में से सिलेक्ट कर रहे हो उसी में से डिलीट कर रहे हो. जिस टेबल में से सिलेक्ट कर रहे हो साइमल्टेनियसली उसी में से डिलीट कर रहे हो. जिस थाली में से खा रहे हो उसी में छेद कर रहे हो. Oracle will allow. MySQL does not allow. MySQL does not allow. It creates a problem in read and write consistency. So in MySQL, you cannot update or delete from a table from which you are currently selecting. You cannot update or delete from a table from which you are currently selecting. It creates a problem in read and write consistency. So what is the solution for MySQL? What is the solution for MySQL? What is the solution for MySQL? Look here. If I'm selecting from EMP table, on that basis, simultaneously, I cannot delete from EMP. But tell me one thing, if I'm selecting from department table or if I'm selecting from customer table, on that basis, I can delete from EMP. So what needs to be done here? I need to give MySQL the impression that I'm not selecting from EMP. I'm selecting from some other table. So what I'll do is this subquery, hmm, this subquery, I will give it an alias of temp. Don't write this, listen. What happens when I give alias for select statement? Output of select statement, it is stored in server IAM. This is a temporary table. The life of this table is only for this select statement. So assuming that this is the server IAM, assuming that this is the server IAM, output of select statement is stored in server IAM. What is the output of select statement? Department number. Where is it stored? It creates a temporary table. I'm giving it an alias. I'm giving it a name of EMPP. Of course, you can call it anything. It doesn't matter. This is a temporary table. The life of this table, it is only for this select statement. Afterwards, it doesn't exist. This table is only for 2 or 3 milliseconds. After when it doesn't exist. So what I'll do is, over here, I will select department number from this table. If I'm selecting department number from temp table, if I'm selecting department number from temp table, on that basis, I can delete from EMP. And just to ensure that there is no ambiguity, I will select temp.department number. अब तो सवाल ही नहीं, question does not arise. आता तो प्रश्नच नहीं. I'm selecting department number from temp table. And if I'm selecting department number from temp table, on that basis, I can delete from EMP. This is your solution for MySQL. Please note it down. This is the solution for MySQL. And yes, if you compare with Oracle, compared to Oracle, one extra select statement is needed, isn't it? One extra select statement is needed. And the more the number of select statements, the slower it will be. इतना सब लिखना पड़ेगा धीरज, तभी तो साल मिलेगा. तणे खावे लोखंडाचे, तेव्हाच ब्रह्मपती नाचे. But this is still not so bad, na Dheeraj? This is not so bad. Compare it with your Java programming. Java programming आपको 50 लाइन का प्रोग्राम, 100 लाइन का प्रोग्राम लिखना पड़ता है. Here you are writing just 2-3 commands. This is definitely easier, shorter, simpler. This is your solution for MySQL. Right? Everything. Finish writing. Similarly, for the second one, Similarly, for the second one, I'm selecting job from EMP. On that basis, I'm trying to update EMP. Solution for MySQL. You don't select from EMP, you select from temp. If you select from temp, on that basis, you can update EMP to ensure that there's no ambiguity. I'll select temp.job is your solution for MySQL. But again, if you compare this with Oracle, one extra select statement is needed. And the more the number of select statements, the slower it will be. But I've given you the solution. Shall we take a break, students?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
15 minutes is good enough
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
because let's continue. Has the recording started?
Yeah.
So all the examples we did up till now, students, all the examples we did up till now, my subquery was returning only a single row. Either my subquery was returning the minimum cell, or it was returning the maximum cell, or it was returning the department number of Thomas, or it was returning the job of Kiran. So all examples up till now, my subquery was returning only one row. But what to do if subquery returns 2 rows, 3 rows, 10 rows, 100 rows? Then how to make it work? Let's see how to work with that. Let's understand multi-row subqueries. Let's understand multi-row subqueries. Let's understand multi-row subqueries. What is multi-row subqueries? Multi-row subquery returns multiple rows. Subquery returns multiple rows. Subquery returns multiple rows. Let's understand how to work with this. To explain this, understand the problem first. Look here. I have two managers. Understand the problem? I have two managers. These two managers, they are receiving. Who are these two managers? Arun and Jack. I have two managers, Arun and Jack. These two managers, they are receiving a sal 8,000, 9,000 respectively. These are the salaries of all my managers. Now here is my requirement. I want to display all the rows who are receiving a sal equal to any of the managers. Display all the rows who are receiving a sal equal to any of the managers. For example, Thomas is there. He's a clerk, but his sal is 8,000. It is equal to that of one of the managers. Understood the problem? So first, I need to find out what are the salaries of all my managers. Once I know what are the salaries of all my managers, then I can find out which all rows shall equal to that value. So solving it the traditional way, first I shall find out the salaries of all my managers. To find out the salaries of all my managers, I will select sal from EMP, select sal from EMP, where job equal to manager will give me the salaries of all my managers. Once I know the salaries of all my managers, then I can say select star from EMP, where sal equal to this select statement will give me the salaries of all my managers. Now just a minute. Just a minute. Himanshu, what happens here? First, my subquery will execute. Select sal where job equal to manager. First, my subquery will execute. I have two managers, Arun and Jack. They're receiving a sal 8,000, 9,000 respectively. They're receiving a sal 8,000, 9,000 respectively. So my subquery returns two rows. My subquery returns two rows. My subquery returns multiple rows. And I'm trying to say in the main query, I'm trying to say where sal equal to two values, where sal equal to two rows will give me an error. This will give me an error. Now understand, what is it that we exactly want here? What is it that we exactly want here? I want sal equal to 8,000 or sal equal to 9,000. Agreed? That's what I'm searching for. Sal equal to 8,000 or sal equal to 9,000. I want to perform logical OR here. How to do that? I can say where sal equal to any, remember any operator will perform logical OR. Where sal equal to any one of them. Please write this. This will work in MySQL. This will work in MySQL. Earlier I had told you all that any operator will not work in MySQL unless it is part of subquery. Well, now that we are doing subqueries, I can use the any operator here. Any operator will perform logical OR. That's what any operator does. It performs logical OR. Please write this. any operator will perform logical OR. Any operator will perform logical OR. This is one solution where SAL equal to any one of them is one solution. Is one solution. A second solution, is there a more efficient way of doing this, students? What is faster than any operator?
In operator, sir.
That's right. A second solution, a faster way of doing it, I can say where SAL in. Where SAL in. I can say where SAL in. Note down. Where SAL in. Done. Now, let me show you a third solution. In is faster than any. This we had discussed earlier. In is faster than any. Why? Because any is overloaded. Any is overloaded. In is faster than any. But any is more powerful because with in operator, I can only check for in or not in. Whereas with any operator, I can check for equal to any, not equal to any, greater than any, less than any, greater than equal to any, less than equal to any, which is not possible with in operator. You see what is happening here, students? First thing I can write down is that in operator can also be used. It will perform logical OR.
Sir, can you please repeat?
Yeah. First, you write down that in operator is similar to any. It will perform logical OR. First, you write this point. We had written this earlier, but no harm writing it again. In operator will perform logical OR. Okay. What I said just now, someone asked me to repeat. I said in operator is faster than any operator because any operator is overloaded. This equal to sign is what slows it down. Any operator is overloaded. And that is why in is faster than any. But any operator is more powerful because with in operator, I can check for in, I can check for not in. I can check for equality, I can check for inequality. Whereas with any operator, I can check for greater than any, less than any, greater than equal to any, less than equal to any, which is not possible with in operator. So how would I summarize this? If you want to check for equality or inequality, use in operator. Whereas if you want to check for greater than less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, then use the any operator. No problem. A third solution. The fastest way of doing it. Look here. What is happening in our example? In our example, I have two managers. Because I have two managers, my subquery returns two rows. My subquery returns two values. And in the main query, comparison is done with two rows. Comparison is done with two values. But consider this situation. What if I have 200 managers? What if I have 200 managers? If I have 200 managers, what if I have 200 managers? Then my subquery returns 200 rows. My subquery returns 200 values. And in my main query, comparison will be done with 200 rows. Comparison will be done with 200 values. That will be slower. In this example, in this and only this example, considering that managers are the highly paid ones here, what I can do is in my subquery, I can find out the minimum sal of manager. In subquery, if I find out minimum sal of manager, then my subquery returns only one value. It returns only one row. Then in my main query, I can directly say sal greater than equal to min of sal is the fastest way of doing it. 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 Dheeraj, you have logged in 2 times.
Yes, sir.
It shows me Dheeraj, Lakhani. 2 people are there.
Yes, sir.
Dheeraj, I've sent you the coupon code. It is valid only for today.
Okay, sir. Up to 12 a.m.
हाँ, तो आज क्लास के बाद 2 मिनट का काम है. Enter your name, email ID, enter the coupon code, 100%, 0 fees. Minimal discount. मैं भी लिख लेता हूँ. No, Rohit, this is only for Boomer.
So please repeat that last one.
Yes, I was saying that in last example, in is faster than any. That though you understood. But what I was saying is that in our example, we have two managers. Since we have two managers, my subquery returns two rows, 8,000, 9,000. My subquery returns two values. Therefore, in the main query, comparison is done with two values. My point was, if I have 200 managers, then subquery returns 200 rows. Then in the main query, comparison is done with 200 values, and that's going to be slow. To make it work faster, in this example, in this and only this unique example, considering that managers are the highly paid ones here, what we do is in the subquery, you find out the minimum sal of manager. In subquery, when I find out the minimum sal of manager, whether I have two managers or 200 managers, my subquery returns only one row. My subquery returns only one value. In which case, in my main query, I can directly say sal greater than equal to min of sal. Would be the fastest way of doing it. So I will give you three guidelines to make it work faster. First priority, join is faster than subquery. So your first preference is try to solve the problem using join. Try to solve the problem using join. But if this is not possible, try to reduce the number of levels of subqueries. That's the second solution. That's the second thing that you must attempt. Try to reduce the number of levels of subqueries. Thirdly, try to reduce the number of rows returned by subquery. So these are the three things that you must try to, right, if you want to make it work faster. Got it? मिनसेल के वक्त सॉर्टिंग नहीं होता है. ग्रुप बाय में सॉर्टिंग होता है गणेश. मिनसेल में कहाँ होगा? धीरज, we can make a coupon code of Jay Bora.
Okay.
नहीं. कूपन कोड क्या है वो मैंने भेजा आपको ना.
Yes, sir. देखा मैंने.
वही है. For the next example, students, for the next example, to explain the next one, Assumption, third row, the sal is 13,000. Okay? Assumption, third row, the sal is 13,000. So later when you try it out, you please update the third row. So when you try it out later, please update the third row and please make the sal 13,000. Okay, just write this. Wrote it. Now listen. Understand the next problem. First, you understand the problem, then we can discuss the solution. First, you get the problem statement. We have two managers. Listen, Naneshwar. We have two managers, Arun and Jack. These two managers, they are receiving a sal 8,000, 9,000 respectively. These are the salaries of all my managers. We want to see all the rows who are getting a sal greater than all the managers. Show me all the rows who are receiving a sal greater than all the managers. For example, Kiran is there, he's a clerk, but the salary is 13,000. His salary is greater than all of the managers. How will you solve it, students?
फर्स्टली मैनेजर की सैलरी सिलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा.
Correct. First, you find out the salary of all your managers. So select sal from EMP, where job equal to manager. Just wait a minute. Once you found out the salaries of all your managers, now you can say select star from EMP, where sal is greater than subquery. Understand how this works. Pay attention. First, my subquery will execute. Select sal, where job equal to manager. First, my subquery will execute. Select sal, where job equal to manager, will return the salary of all my managers. My subquery returns two rows. My subquery returns two values, 8,000, 9,000 respectively. After which my main query will execute. Select star, where sal greater than two values will give me an error. I'm trying to say sal greater than two values will give me an error. What is it that I exactly want here? I want sal greater than 8,000 and sal greater than 9,000. Clear? I want sal greater than 8,000 and sal greater than 9,000. I want to perform logical AND here. If you want to perform logical OR, you can use in operator, you can use any operator. But I want to perform logical AND here. Greater than 8 and greater than 9,000, I can say where sal greater than all. That's right, Arvind. Where sal greater than all. All is a special operator. All is a special operator. Please write this. All is a special operator. It will perform logical AND. Clear? will perform logical AND. First, you write this. I'm coming to that costume. After writing this, please write down the select statement, write down the solution. Yes, this is one solution. But as Kaustubh was saying, look here, this is one solution. Right now, we are having two managers, Arun and Jack. So my subquery returns two rows. My subquery returns two values, 8,000, 9,000 respectively. What if I had 200 managers? Then subquery returns 200 rows, subquery returns 200 values, and then in the main query, comparison is done with 200 values. That will be slow. If you want to make it work faster, Kaustubh, in fact, the fastest way of doing it, what you do is in subquery, you find out the maximum sal of manager. Here, when I find out the maximum sal of manager, my subquery returns only one row. My subquery returns only one value, that is 9,000. In which case, in my main query, I can directly say sal greater than max of sal. Would be the fastest way of doing it, where sal greater than max of sal. Dheeraj, sal greater than max of sal would be the fastest way of doing it. But then I wanted to introduce you to the all operator. Maybe some other example where you need to perform logical and you can use the all operator. Okay? Let's move on. Now, Let me show you one last feature here. Assumption, third row, sal is 3000. Please make a note of this. Assumption, third row, the sal is 3000. So when you try it out later, maybe tonight or tomorrow morning, please update the third row and make the sal as 3000. Done. Third row, the sal is 3000. Up till now, all the examples that we've done, I was using subquery in the where clause. But you can use subquery in the having clause. Let's take an example on that. Using subquery in the having clause. Using subquery in the having clause. Let's see how to use subquery in the having clause. First, I'm going to show you how to do this in Oracle. Then I will show you how to do this in MySQL. And then I want you to compare Oracle with MySQL. And you will observe that in MySQL, one extra select statement is needed. And the more the number of select statements, the slower it will be. So first, let me demonstrate how to solve this problem using Oracle. To explain this, along with EMP table, I'm going to require a department table. The same one that we had created earlier. I'll just bring it over here. Students, I want you to compare department table and EMP table. If you compare department table and EMP table, you will observe that department number column is common in both the tables. And on the basis of this, we had written joins earlier. Now here is the thing, students. For a change, first you understand the problem statement. First, I will solve it. You do not write. You understand. You can put your pens down. First, I will solve it. I'm going to write 3-4 select statements for you. You understand all of that. Then I'll give you 2 minutes later to write everything. Understand the problem statement. The problem statement is display the DNAME that is having max of some cell. Display the DNAME. Display the DNAME that is having max of sum of cell. You understood the question? If you observe my EMP table, see the screen. If you observe my EMP table, department number 1, the total is 18,000. Department number 2, the total is 17,000. So which is the department that is having the highest total? It is department number 1. In our case, it is training. This is the DNAME which is having the highest total. That is the problem statement. That is my requirement. First, you understand. First, you let me solve it. And once I have solved it, then I'll give you some time later to write the answer in your notebook. Now listen. Starting from scratch, I can select department number, comma, sum of sal from EMP, and I can say group by department number. This everyone is familiar with. I'm selecting department number and sum sal. So output is department number and sum of sal. Output is department number and sum of sal. But here, because I'm saying group by department number, the grouping will take place. I'll get the sum of sal department wise. The output of this, department number 1, the total is 18,000. Department number 2, the total is 17,000. Nothing new so far. Everyone is familiar with this. Now listen. Over here, if I select only sum sal and not department number, over here, if I select only sum sal and not the department number, is it going to work? Yes, it will. I will get to see sum of sal department wise. I'll get to see sum of sal department wise. Only thing is department number column will not be displayed. Department number column will not be displayed. I'll get to see the various totals. This also we have seen. Nothing new out here. Now listen. Since we are discussing Oracle for a few minutes, everyone is aware that here I can select max of sum of sal. Nesting of group functions is allowed in Oracle. Here when I select max of sum sal, I'll get to see the highest total. In our case, the highest total is 18,000. No problem so far. Nothing new out here. But I want to find out which department is having this highest total. I want to find out which department is having this highest total. To find out which department is having this highest total, I can select department number, comma, sum of sal from EMP. I will say group by department number will give me the sum of sal department wise, Over here, I will say having sum sal equal to. Select max of sum sal will give me the department which is having the highest total, isn't it? This will give me the department which is having the highest total. In our case, it is department number 1. Which has the highest total of 18,000. Understood, everyone? I'm using subquery in the having clause. Having sum sal equal to max of sum sal will show me the department which is having the highest total. One last thing I'll write over here. Now that we have found out which department is having the highest total, in my output, I don't want to see the boring department number. In the output, I want to see the D name. I want to see which D name is having the highest total. How to find out which D name is having the highest total?
Joins.
Yes, we'll have to write a join. So my select statement, I will select D name, comma, sum sal from EMP, comma, department, First, the where clause, where department or department number equal to emp dot department number. Here, I will say group by dname will give me the sum of cell dname wise. Having some cell equal to max of some cell will give me the dname which is having the highest total. In our case, it is raining. So I found out the department which is having the highest total. So here I have a join, I have group by, I have having clause, and of course, we have subquery and where clause also. Understood, everyone? Please write down everything. Please write down everything top to bottom. Let me know when you finish, then I will scroll down. This requires practice, huh? Database is one thing which you're going to practice for the next 6 months. Try to stay in touch with it. I'll tell you how you're going to work in database. Huh? Students, listen to me. There's no deadline you have to submit assignment tomorrow, and also don't worry, just listen. Here's what you're going to do. First, you're going to read the notes. Next, you will try out all the commands. Find out what each command is doing. Then you will attempt the assignments. And then you can try out a mini project or case study on your own, or in a group of 3-4 people, or 10 people, whatever works for you. Shall I scroll down?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shall I scroll down further?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Scroll down.
Yes, sir.
हेलो सर.
Shall I scroll down further? Shubham?
सर एक क्वेरी मतलब सर एक क्वेश्चन था. सर इस मिडल वाले में सर सब क्वेरी में हमने फिर से ग्रुप बाय डिपार्टमेंट नंबर क्यों किया है मतलब. हाँ सब क्वेरी में.
Here, no?
हाँ ये सर ये सब क्वेरी में भी ग्रुप बाय डिपार्टमेंट नंबर किया है. वो तो सम ऑफ सैलरी रिटर्न करेगा ना सर.
Yeah, but I want department. I want to see which department is having the highest total. If I only select sum of sal, it will return the sum of sal for the whole table. I'll get 35,000. But I want department wise, and I want which department is having the highest total. That's why I've taken max of sum sal, group by department number, gives me the highest total, that is 18,000. Then to find out which department is having this total, I've written the main query, select department number and sum cell, group by department number. Having sum cell equal to 18,000 will give me department 1. It has the highest. And lastly, to find out which is the D name, rather than department number, if you want to see D name in the output, you'll have to write a join, select D name comma sum cell, will give me the department with the highest total. Let me know when you finish writing quickly. It's 8:20. CDAC has requested not to continue beyond 8:30 p.m. Some of them have to help at home for their dinner and all that preparation arrangements. Some of them maybe have to go out and eat in a mess or whatever it is. Finish writing?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Then let me show you how to solve this in MySQL. Vipul Tembulwar is an employee of CDAC, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
I see. I didn't know that. Vipul, are you present right now?
Yes, sir.
Are you an ex-student of CDAC Mumbai?
Yes, sir.
Which batch?
16. 2016. DMC.
Then you must be my ex-student, no?
No, sir, no. Unfortunately, no.
2016, I did not teach. I don't remember.
I was in Juhu. I was in Juhu.
Oh, you were in Juhu. Huh. I don't go to Juhu because Juhu is
Yeah,
very
that's
far
not-
from my house.
Right.
I stay in Mumbai, in South Mumbai. I stay at Nariman Point.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. I know that.
Traveling to Juhu और फिर आके 8 घंटा class लेना is very tiring. Kharghar में क्या, they have a hostel, so I go and stay there. So I drive down to Kharghar previous day with my baggage. पूरा अपना सामान कारोबार लेके मैं वहां बैठ जाता हूँ.
Yes.
चलो, let me solve you. Let me show you how to solve this in MySQL now. Last thing, then we'll wind up. So let me show you same problem, how to solve it in MySQL. Once again, students, I'm requesting you, please do not write. Let me write 2-3 select statements first. Let me explain it first. Then I'll give you time to write later. Okay? So, see the screen, Akshay. select department number and sum of sal, group by department number. This will work in MySQL. This is not a problem. Select sum sal, group by department number. Will also work in MySQL. I'll get to see the sum of sal department wise. I'll get to see this output. The problem comes, you know where? Problem comes here. Nesting of group functions is not allowed. In MySQL, for that matter, in any other RDBMS. It only allows in Oracle. It's not there in any RDBMS. So how to find out the highest total? How to find out the highest total? Remember, we had done this few days back. If you want to find out the highest total, first thing you do is you give this an alias. Suppose I call it sum underscore sal. Then what you do is, for this select statement, you give it an alias. What happens when I give alias to select statement? Output of select statement, it creates a temporary table. It is there in server RAM. Temp table is there in server RAM. And what will this temp table contain? It will store sum underscore sal. It will store sum underscore sal. It will store 18,000, 17,000. This is a temporary table. The life of this table is only for this select statement. Afterwards, it doesn't exist. And what you do is, so you select max of sum underscore sal from this table. And if you select max of sum underscore sal from this table, you'll get to see the highest total. In our case, it is 18,000. And moving on, now that we have found out the highest total, to find out which department is having this highest total, in subquery, you will type this, isn't it? And to find out which DNAME is having the highest total, in subquery, you will type this, will show me which DNAME is having the highest total. Is your solution for MySQL. But if you compare with Oracle, compared to Oracle, one extra select statement is needed, isn't it? One extra select statement is needed. And the more the number of selects, the slower it will be. So in Oracle, if it's going to solve the problem in 2 milliseconds, in MySQL, it's going to take 3 milliseconds. But for some people, that matters. Performance matters. You may please write everything from top to bottom. Let me know as you finish. I will scroll down. Shall I scroll down? Solution for MySQL.
Yes, sir. Hold on.
Yes.
Scroll down more.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Have you reached the last one?
Yes, sir.
Finish writing.
Yes,
So now
sir.
you know how to use subquery in the having clause.
So,
Yes.
why does SQL not allow us to write the name of the temporary table in the select statement? Why does it throw an error?
Why doesn't it allow?
Yeah,
You can.
if
You
here we
want
are
here you
using
can
temp.
select. You can
No,
say max.
from temp, if we write, it gives us an error.
Yeah, it will give an error, no? Because this temp table exists only over here. After this, it doesn't exist. There is a way of ending the command now.
Okay.
We say select something from temp, open bracket, again another select statement, That doesn't make sense. Na? Subquery has to be equated with main query, either with a where clause or a having clause. You can't select something from temp followed by again a select statement in bracket.
Okay.
That's the reason. So, okay, students, on that note, I'm going to stop. Unfortunately, today